Audio's okay, and then we'll go. Alright, make sure audio's okay, and then we'll go. Alright, audio sounds good. What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Malin Relish, coming back into the Minnesota Vikings Madden 24 rebuild. Sunday night, it's not normally a night that I game, but decided to do it because of all the great football that's happened today. Of course, it's Championship Sunday. The Chiefs defeated the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to another Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes, Wreckham, as their quarterback. And the NFC title game went to the San Francisco 49ers. They actually had to come back to beat the Detroit Lions. You talk about an epic collapse. And speaking of the Lions, they are actually a team that we beat to end the regular season in our franchise mode in the very first year of this franchise as a part of the rebuild. So before we get into the 2024 season as we go through the preseason and more, let's take a look at the Minnesota Vikings roster in 2024 because we did make some changes, most notably to the quarterback position. Now this is because of just the way this game is just broken. So Joshua Dobbs was our starting quarterback last season, filling in for Kirk Cousins all year long. And he won the MVP. Now I know most of y'all would think, like, Malin, why wouldn't you just keep him? Well, he finished the season as a 69 overall quarterback. Okay, I wasn't about to go with that when there were better looking quarterbacks that were out there, even in free agency. Now, Baker's only a 79, but that's an improvement from what we had last year. And I didn't want to bring back Kirk Cousins because in real life, I feel like the Minnesota Vikings are going to contemplate whether they really want him back or not. I feel like they should because personally, I feel like Kirk Cousins is not a very good quarterback when it comes to consistency, and I think it's just time for the Vikings to move on. So I wanted to go in a different direction with a quarterback and try this out with Baker Mayfield. I gave him a pretty decent contract, so we'll see how it works. But we still have Nick Mullins, and we have Jaren Hall as the backups. Now, our running back is going to stay the same. There were some guys out there that I was interested in. Nick Chubb, I think, was available, but I decided to keep things with Madison. But we did draft Raheem Sanders out of Arkansas, who I think will be a pretty solid backup running back for us. Maybe he can develop a little bit, be that good change of pace back, because Madison is a little bit of a bigger guy. And, you know, Sanders is kind of a little bit of a size guy, too, at 227. But maybe he can be a decent change of pace kind of back, because Madison is a little shorter than him. Sanders is bigger. So maybe it could be kind of like thunder and lightning a little bit, but we'll see. Sanders doesn't really fit our scheme, but he was one of the best guys available. We still have Chandler, and we still have Nwagu, so we're still solid there. I went ahead and brought back C.J. Ham. I let him actually go to free agency, but there was really no other better fullbacks on the market, so I decided to bring him back on a shorter contract. We still have Justin Jefferson, of course, a member of the 99 overall club. Jordan Addison is now our number 2 receiver at 84. I didn't bring back Osborne, despite the fact that he had a good season, because the money was kind of crazy to bring him back. But another reason I didn't bring him back is that we drafted this guy, Marvin Harrison Jr., yes. Now, there were other positions of need that we had with our first-round pick, but getting Marvin Harrison Jr. at 79 overall, and I've never drafted him in any of these rebuilds. So I just wanted to kind of curious to see, how he would fit in. And I gave him 88, just like his dad, with the Colts. So, already a 79 overall rookie out of Ohio State. Hopefully Harrison will have a breakout rookie season and be a big weapon, because we upgraded our quarterback position, but you know what? I think it's going to help out Mayfield as the new quarterback coming in to have weapons like Harrison and along with Justin Jefferson. And I was really looking for another dynamic receiver to go along. I don't know how much longer Addison will be here and if his rating will go up or down, but something tells me give it a year or two, Harrison's rating could go through the roof, but we will see. But we still have Brandon Powell, we still have Naylor, Fitzpatrick, and Nakua are here as well. We still have Hawkinson. He's back off an injury, so he'll be full tilt for the season, and we still have Josh Oliver to back him up. Offensive line, we didn't really do too much. We still have Darius Shaw. Simpson is still going to be our left guard, and we still have our starting center in Bradbury and Ed Ingram, and we have Brian O'Neill. So we didn't really upgrade the offensive line, mostly because I put a lot of money into other positions that we really needed to fill. We have Dean Lowry as our backup, as our starting left end. I did draft Grayson Murphy once again, just like I did, I believe, in the Panthers rebuild. But hopefully in this rebuild, he can actually develop a little bit better, because with the Panthers one, he never seemed to get off the ground. He never really seemed to develop. So hopefully getting Murphy in this franchise will serve better, but we will see. Rookie out of UCLA. And we did sign a big free agent. One of the big free agent signings we got is Christian Wilkins, 87 overall right end. We needed a new right end, which really is the case of the Vikings trying to replace Darius Smith, who's been gone for a few years, including the first year of this franchise. But I think getting Wilkins is going to help out. 87 fits our scheme, wants to come here. We brought back Tunga for backup reasons, and we have Daniels as well. Defensive tackle, Harrison Phillips is coming back off an injury. We drafted Chris Jenkins out of Michigan to back him up as well. 68 overall to start out with. Hopefully he can develop. We have Roy and we have Goddard. And we brought back Danielle Hunter, who actually made the Pro Bowl last year, so I wanted to give him a decent contract. 90 overall left outside linebacker, pretty solid if you ask me. We still have Patrick Jones II as the backup. And I signed Drew Tranquill, the former Kansas City Chief. So he's going to come over to us and be our starting middle linebacker. He fits our scheme, and he was one of the best linebackers out there. And, 82 overall, I couldn't really pass that up. We might have Ivan Pace Jr., who was solid. One-year guy to Cincinnati, had a decent rookie season as the main starting guy. But I wanted to upgrade that position. And we still have Jordan Hicks, but he's slipping a little bit. And I don't really know. And he may be a candidate that I may look to trade, because he used to be kind of the big guy, but Ivan Pace overtook him, and maybe we can get a pick back for Hicks. So before I even start the season, I might try to swap him for a pick, or maybe another player who we could use for depth reasons. And we still have Awesome Watt, and we have Nick Vigil. I brought Nick Vigil back for depth purposes, when in reality I probably should have let him go, but it is what it is. And another big free agent splash that we made was Josh Allen, right outside linebacker, 93 overall, the former Jaguar. I'm kind of going a little bit bigger than I did in other rebuilds, where I was a little bit more conservative with, not really going with heavy contracts and signing big name guys. But for this rebuild, I'm going a little bit harder. I'm going to, in the first off season, we didn't have a whole lot of cap space, but the cap space that we did have, I went out and got some big name guys. Most notably, I wanted to lock in a quarterback in Baker Mayfield, a veteran guy. Didn't really want to go with the rookie because we went 7-10. We weren't going to get a high pick. So I wanted to go with a veteran and see if we could rebuild around a veteran quarterback in this rebuild. But we got Josh Allen, 93 overall. We also have Marcus Davenport. I decided to bring him back, and we still have Carter. I signed I got a Steven Nelson back as well, 81 overall. Actually, not back. He's a new free agent acquisition. Byron Murphy Jr. was our starting corner before, but Nelson and him are going to be are in the 80s club, so hopefully that'll help add some depth back there. We still have Blackman, Evans, Booth. So a lot of these guys are holdovers from last year. The safeties are still the same. We still have Cameron Bynum, and all these guys are still the same. And we have Josh Melitus. Unfortunately, Harrison Smith did retire after the first year. I was hoping he wouldn't, but he did. So we can't, and unfortunately, with the money that I invested in the linebackers and the defensive line and our quarterback, I didn't really have enough money or the draft picks to go out and get us a replacement at strong safety. But you know what? Josh seems pretty solid. 4-year guy, 78. He could go up to the 80s, so we'll see. We're going to rock with him this year and see what happens. And we signed Fairbairn, and we still have Ryan Wright as our punter. So not a whole lot of change to special teams except for our kicker. So, kind of like I was just mentioning a couple of minutes ago, I'm going to go over to the Trade Center and see if maybe we can swap Jordan Hicks for either maybe a pick or maybe another player. But we'll see what I want to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and go probably with a manual trade. I'm going to go ahead and put Hicks there because I really feel like we don't really need him anymore. 74 is still pretty solid. Yes, he fits our scheme, but Pace and Tranquill are, have overtaken him. So I want to kind of see what we can get for him. As far as what we really need, I mean, we could use another quarterback to back up Mayfield, according to that. But, let's just see about maybe like a left end or something. Let's just see maybe we can, upgrade our left defensive end maybe with somebody decent. Somebody who desperately needs a linebacker. Maybe we can get somebody like, I don't know who, but we'll see. I don't really know if any of these guys are really too solid or Anybody they would consider. Maybe Felix Andua Zuma. He's kind of eating up some space there. I don't really know how much this is going to, like, upgrade our defensive end spot, but maybe. We don't feel it brings enough. Okay. Well, I don't really want to add a pick just to get the Chiefs to take Hicks. Let's see if maybe the Commanders, James Smith. Well, no, that'd be a downgrade. Robinson, Walker. Let's see, maybe Jacksonville might have somebody. Will McDonald the fourth from the Jets, maybe. Doesn't bring enough. Okay. Chop Robinson. I don't think they're gonna go for that. How about Wormley? Trade accepted. All right, so Jordan Hicks is on his way to Carolina, and we got Wormley to be another left in for us. Now, I don't really think this is going to make him a starter because he's rated lower than our other guy, but maybe not. Let me actually see if that's the case, because it could be that he's actually a little bit better than the guy. Yeah, that actually helps. Okay, so Lowry is 71, but Wormley is at a 73. He doesn't fit our scheme, but you know what? He's a bridge guy, so I think that's going to help upgrade a little bit at the defensive end. And, of course, we still have Wilkins, so I think getting Wormley is a little bit of an upgrade. And more so, it takes Jordan Hicks off the books because Ivan Pace, we have, decent backups. And, Drew is our new starter. So we got him as the big name in free agency, so it really made Jordan Hicks expendable. And the Carolina Panthers are in a rebuild of their own. That's the last team that I rebuild. So they could probably use a player of his caliber, in my opinion. So looking at the ratings to start out the year, we're 85 on offense, 81 defense, and 83 overall. So that's a pretty kind of even matchup. So let's get into the preseason. Let's see how we do in our first game against the Browns, Baker Mayfield's debut as a Minnesota Viking. Hopefully Baker proves to be the right move. I'm a little bit concerned because getting a new quarterback that's a 79 overall, what I'm hoping is that the receiving core that we have gives him a boost. And playing with a 99 overall Justin Jefferson, I'm just hoping that helps. But it looks like it helped in the first preseason game. We get a 31-28 win over the Browns, and now we're playing the Bengals this week. So let's see if we get another win for the preseason. And then we'll get to cut days, and we'll kind of get the practice squad in order, and we'll get ready for this next season. So it looks like we have a new injury, but first let's go ahead and upgrade the players. Looks like we lost that. Looks like we lost our game against the Bengals, so we lost by 8. It's preseason, so I guess the backups didn't play very well. So who's the new injury? Who's hurt? So Darrisaw is out for 1 week with a high ankle sprain, and Des Fitzpatrick is out has a broken femur. Oh gosh, he won't be able to play forever. So yeah, Fitzpatrick is definitely going on IR. There's no way. Yeah, this guy's not coming back for this season. He probably won't ever play for the Vikings again. Man, broken femur, 35 weeks, that's tough. Well, Darrisaw I didn't want Darrisaw really to play in the final preseason game anyway. He could use a week off. But he is one of our best offensive linemen. He probably, actually, scratch that, he is our best at 91 overall. So he can have the week off, as far as I'm concerned. All right, our final preseason game, we're 1-1, playing the 1-1 Jaguars this week. See if we can get a win. And we'll get to cut days, and then we'll get the season started. Okay, so let's upgrade players before we start cutting guys. And looks like we did lose in a high-scoring one, 43-24. That's pretty interesting. All right, so let's get to cut days. We got to cut 10 guys, or place 10 guys on the practice squad, I should say. That's mostly what I've done with cut days lately in these rebuilds. We'll come back to quarterbacks later because I would like to keep 3 guys active if we can. Well, they don't recommend cutting any of these running backs, so I'm not going to do that. Nakua, let's go ahead and move him to practice squad. I think that's all we're going to do with the receivers. Left tackles, no, we're going to not do anything really with that. We do not recommend. We'll see about that. We don't have a lot of lineman depth. Yeah, we have three left tackles, so I'm probably just not gonna mess with that too much. Right end, Darian Daniels. We can cut him. He's taking up space right now. Defensive tackles. We got a bunch of the guys. Let's move Goddard to practice squad. Left outside linebackers. We don't have a whole lot of depth here. No, we can't do that with Vigil. It'll be a... Yeah, and the thing that usually happens is that we put these guys on practice squad, they get snatched up. Andre Carter, let's put him on practice squad. I feel like somebody's going to pick him up, but still. Hood, let's move you to practice. Stephen Jones Jr., let's move him to practice. Wild Goose, nice name, but you're lowly rated. There's Dial. Free safety. Let's move Tyreek Jones to practice squad. We have a lot of, oh my gosh, we have a lot of free safeties. Josh Thomas, we'll go ahead and cut you. Bledsoe, we're going to go ahead and cut you as well. And that's it. All right. You know what, let's just save those points for later for staff purposes. All right, so let's go ahead and get through, camp and get to the regular season, and we'll get this going. The Baker Mayfield era is underway in Minnesota. We're going to see what Mayfield can do as a member of the Vikings. But first things first, let's go ahead and get our draft class for the 2025 draft. Make sure I choose the right file, because sometimes I mess up and I don't get the right one. It's my own error, I should say. 2025 draft. Go ahead and download this file. Overwrite as always. Should be guys like I think Drew Alar and some other like that in here. Let's see all who they have. Yeah, this is the Drew Alar draft. Alexander, Campbell, Bear, Marvin Jones Jr. Yeah, Kate Klubnik. Yep, definitely guys. Okay. All right, so we got the draft. So we got the draft class imported. So that's good. And now let's go ahead and upgrade players before we start the regular season, and we'll get things going in our first game. It's the Buffalo Bills on the road. So here we go, 2024 season. Let's go ahead and advance to the middle of the season and see where this team is at. How is Baker Mayfield going to operate with Justin Jefferson and Marvin Harrison Jr. as our 2 best receivers? I know I don't talk about Addison very much, but that's because to me, at least from a knowledge perspective, he's kind of an unknown. I do like Addison, don't get me wrong. 84 is pretty good. But having a chance to get Marvin Harrison Jr. in the draft because he slipped to us, I didn't expect him to slip that low, but he did. And, best player available sometimes, you got to take the best player available. And I think he was the best available. So we'll see how we do in this season. Hopefully we're better, but I will say, my expectations are not super high. We may sneak into the playoffs as a wild card, even if we don't win the division, but we'll have to see. Most of the time in these rebuilds, the season where I lead the team to the Super Bowl is during a season where they don't win the division and they make the playoffs is usually like the last wild card team, and we have to play on the road to win it all. At least that's what happened with the Carolina Panthers rebuild. Something tells me, and it happened with the Cardinals rebuild as well. So we'll see what happens with this one. And who knows, the rise may be quicker because we spent some decent money in free agency this first off season. Normally I don't do a whole lot of that, but I feel like that this team is still really good with the 99 overall player in Justin Jefferson, arguably the best receiver in the league. So we're kind of going a little bit bigger than we normally do. And we'll see if it pays off. Well, look at that. It absolutely is not paying off. We're 1-5. We are 1-5 with this team. I got to look at the stats. How is Baker Mayfield doing at this midpoint of the season? So he hasn't even cracked the 2,000 yard mark yet. He has 6 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. How's our running game? Madison only has 2 rushing TDs. Sanders has 6 of them. Receiving wise, Justin Jefferson only has 1 touchdown. Harrison Jr. is actually not having it. Well, Harrison Jr. is having a good rookie year. He's got 4 touchdowns. Jordan Addison is leading us in receiving yards with 410 by week 7. But golly, I did not expect us to start the season 1-5. That doesn't give me good confidence in maybe Baker Mayfield being the future of this ball club. That's not a good sign to start out this rebuild with the guy that's supposed to be our new leader in Mayfield. So, who knows? We'll see how the rest of the season goes, but he should feel like he's in the pressure cooker now, if you ask me. All right, so let's go ahead and get through that, and let's go ahead and get to the negotiating screen and see whose contracts are up and who we can negotiate with. We got $62 million to play with, which is a lot, and Justin Jefferson needs a new contract. Oh, my goodness. Well, Justin, we're not messing around with you. Let's see about the neutral offer, and we'll go up from there. Not considering shorter deals. Okay, so this guy wants to be basically a Viking for life. Okay, so next week, we're going to throw all the big money at him because we don't want him to go anywhere. And Darius Shaw, I think, is somebody I definitely want to keep as well. I don't really want to risk this guy hitting the market either. Excited to sign. Okay, so we got Darius Shaw to come back, so that's good. He's our best offensive lineman, so I wanted to keep him around. You know, Steven Nelson is not really looking like a happy camper, even though he's 81 overall, and he was one of our good free agent signings. Now, Fairbairn, I think I can let walk because we can probably get another decently good kicker in free agency this offseason. And, well, if we let Nelson go, then we definitely have to bring back Murphy. So, you know what? I'm going to actually favor Nelson over Murphy, and also because he fits our scheme. So let's see. Let's actually go with a player-friendly deal for 2 years. Offers perfect. Okay, so I didn't want to lowball him because, you know, that's, you know, something that I just feel like I can't afford to do. Unfortunately, because of this, you know, I got to find a way to keep Justin Jefferson here. So I don't want to risk letting him walk. So unfortunately, I think a bunch of these guys are just going to have to walk. And one of them is Madison, who's our starting running back. So either we let Sanders be the main guy next season, or maybe we're just going to have to find another new running back. Maybe in the draft. I don't know. We've started off the year 1-5, so maybe we're not as good as we think. Maybe this team won't be as good as I think we might have been. And, you know, we're just going to have to we're going to have to start over in certain ways, which is a little bit deflating, but, you know, next week when we get back to negotiating, get another chance to talk to Jefferson, we're throwing the big bucks at him. Let's answer our media question this week and see what, in the final year of his contract, he's going to be a part of this team one way or another. Absolutely. We're not letting Justin Jefferson just walk away. That would be ridiculously stupid. All right. Well, the good thing this week is that we're playing a team that's just as bad as we are, so hopefully we can get a win against the 1-6 Titans. By the way, I don't think it was Nick Chubb who was a free agent running back. It was Derrick Henry. So the Titans are going into a little bit of a rebuild of their own. I'm not sure who Henry signed with, but we'll see. And unfortunately, we dropped another game. We're 1-6. Justin Jefferson won NFC Offensive Player of the Week, so that's pretty good. And speaking of Jefferson, we're not messing around, man. We want you to be here. Let's get him locked in. I'm getting Justin Jefferson locked in. All right. Exactly the offer. Okay. Well, now we got no money, basically. So, unfortunately, practically everybody else that you see here is gone. We just can't afford to keep anybody. Can't do it. It's unfortunate, but that's what we're doing. And I was able to keep Nelson as well, so we're going to let Murphy walk. So it is what it is. Don't have as much money to spend in the second year. But then again, it's mostly because we spent a lot of the big bucks in free agency as much as we could this season alone, which unfortunately is not paying off. We're 1-6 with who I think is a better quarterback than what we had before in Mayfield. So it's pretty discouraging that we're 1-6 with Mayfield being the guy that we've labeled to be the starting quarterback. So is he going to be like Kirk Cousins where he just doesn't succeed even though we gave him the money? I don't know. All I know is we are at the bottom of the NFC North. The Lions have had a turnaround season. They're 5-3. Packers 4-4. Bears are 4-4. We may mess around and go 1-16. Hopefully not. But, you know, Jefferson, we want you to be here, so you're sticking it out with us for 5 more years, man. And look at that, we got a win against the rival Bears. Beat the rival Bears by 7, so that gives me a little bit of hope. Not a lot, but it gives me a little bit of hope. I don't think we're going to be a playoff team. I'm pretty much putting it in the bank that we won't. But still, you know, hopefully we can just have some confidence. We should be a playoff team, so yes, we have to turn things around. I mean, I expect us to, maybe be a playoff team with this roster, but so far, I mean, the moves that we made are just not paying off. We're 2-6, and we're playing the 4-4 Packers this week. Hopefully we can get an upset win this week and maybe kind of, launch ourselves into, getting some confidence here, but we'll see. Rome wasn't built in a day. And we lost bad to the Packers by 32 points. So we're fading fast in terms of even having a shot at even getting close. Forget about the playoffs. We went 7-10 last year. We may not even sniff that record at this point, being 2-7. And we're in the basement. So, I think we finished maybe 3rd in the division last year, because the Lions were worse than us, and we beat them in the final week of the season to send them into the basement. And we lost again to the Colts. We lost by 5, so we didn't get blown out, but still, we're 2-8, and we're playing a really good Seahawks team this week that's 8-2. This season is quickly going down the tubes. And unfortunately, Baker Mayfield is the captain of this ship that's hit a rock and is sinking very fast. But fortunately, we get a win to kind of ease some of the pain, but we're nowhere near to being in the playoff picture. And that's a pretty big win for us, though. 8-2 Seattle, that's a pretty big game for them to drop to us in terms of their playoff position. So we're 3-8. The Bears are 5-7. I don't even think we can catch them in terms of, at that point. That's what we're just trying to play for at this point. 6-5 Jacksonville Jaguars on the docket this week. Let's see if we can maybe pull off another upset win here. 2 in a row. How about that? So we won by 3 to the Jaguars. So we've won 2 in a row against winning teams. I'm pretty sure that's something we haven't done all season. So that's pretty good. It looks like Grayson Murphy got some playing time, so he's going to get upgraded a little bit. Hopefully some of our rookies are developing okay. I'm going to go take a look at actually the leaderboards here. Let's take a look at the stats. Let's see how Baker's doing now that we're, almost to the end of the season. Well, he's over the 3,000 yard mark, so that's okay. 18 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Okay, well, at least he's thrown more touchdowns than interceptions. That's good. It's not great, but it's not good. Rushing-wise, our running game is basically non-existent. You know, Madison has 4 touchdowns. Sanders has 10, which means that when we get close to the goal line or in third down situations, Sanders is getting those touches, and he's got 10 touchdowns, which is good for him getting playing time as a rookie because that'll help with his development. Receiving-wise, Jefferson is back to being the top dog, 7 touchdowns. He's broken the 1,000-yard mark once again. Harrison Jr. is our second leading receiver, 751 yards, 8 touchdowns. He still leads us in touchdowns. And, you know, Addison has 1 TD. Harrison's kind of overtaking him, and that's kind of the way that I thought things would go. So, you know, stat-wise, Harrison Jr. is kind of coming on. He may, if he, you know, gets to 1,000 yards like Jefferson, he may be in the running for Rookie of the Year, but we'll see. I don't know. Still, excited to have him as the future. You know, we've got some young guys, but, you know, we spent some decent bucks at the linebacking core and free agency with Tranquil and Allen, and to only be 4-8 right now is, you know, a little bit discouraging based on the money that we spend and the amount of money that we won't be able to spend again this offseason due to the amount of money that we threw at our left tackle, Jefferson and Nelson. So we're going to have to build next season through the draft, really, is what it looks like, but we'll see. Anyway, back to football. 6-6 Texans this week. Let's see if we can get an upset. We can see if we can get our 3rd win in a row. At this point, I'm just hoping they can build some confidence and we can go into next season feeling better about Mayfield being the guy. Well, we lost, but we lost only by 3 points, which is not that bad, but still, this team has been nosediving, and right now, based on where we're at, we'll be lucky to match our record from last year. We finished 7-10 last year. At this point, I'm just trying to go 8-9, so that way we can at least say we were better by a slight margin, even if that was just 1 win. But at this point, that's all I'm hoping for. 7-6 Cardinals. Kyler Murray, of course, is back. I rebuilt the Cardinals in one of my first rebuilds. So let's see if we can get an upset win over the Cardinals at 4-9. We'll see here. And we do, and we blow out the Cardinals out of the building. 52 points. Wow, we got a 50-burger on Arizona. We're 1 game back from the Bears for 3rd in the division, so that's kind of encouraging, but, it's small potatoes. And let's go ahead and upgrade our players. We got a Week 16 matchup against the Lions. They're 1st in the division. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is up to an 82 overall. That's good to see. Good to see our rookie who's getting a lot of playing time, our first-round pick, and being a good compliment to the opposite side of Jefferson. That's what we're hoping for, but it's only gotten us to 5 wins when I thought we would be better. I think it may just be the offensive line as well. Outside of our left tackle, we don't really have really good guys on the offensive line. And, I rebuilt the defense, but, I got some new guys on that defense, but just doesn't seem like that's really helping very much. Well, I can tell you this. We need to win out just to match we need to win out just to win 1 more game than we did last season. So it's a pretty tall order, and we got the 10-4 Lions leading the division this week. And then we've got the Eagles, and then we've got the Rams. So it looks like we've got 3 pretty tough games to wrap up the schedule, but we'll see. The Rams could be a team that isn't very good this year, but I don't know. And, of course, we lost to the Lions, but we only lost by 7. And the Eagles are pretty good as well. They're 10-5. So we got to win both of these games to match our record from last season, which is, playing for pride, but it's bad pride, if it makes any sense. So let's see. Going into our last game, what is our record going to be? Do we even put up a fight against the Eagles on the road or not? And we get a win, so with the game that we have coming up against the 10-6 Rams, who are probably in the playoffs, or at least fighting for a playoff spot, We'll see. It looks like Nick Mullins got some playing time, so Baker must have gotten hurt in this game, which is unfortunate. In the meantime, going into our final game, let's check the injury report. Well, Fitzpatrick is still the only guy on IR. I mean, he broke his femur in the preseason, so he's been the only guy. So Mayfield must have gotten hurt, but he's going to be ready to go for the last game of the regular season. So the best that we can do with a roster that I thought was better, well, it's better on paper. The only thing we can do is we can match our record from last season and go 7-10 again. Let's take a look at the playoff picture to see who's in. The Rams are in the 3 spot right now, so if we beat them, maybe we can knock them out of the 3 seed and maybe play spoiler here. Detroit's actually got the number 1 seed right now, so basically that's the team that we have to overtake in the division. They're kind of the top dogs that we have to worry about for a few years to come. We've got the Falcons at 2, Cowboys at 7, Rams at 3, Giants at 6, Eagles 4th, Seahawks 5th. So 3 teams from the NFC East are in playoff contention. The Steelers, surprisingly, have the number 1 seed. They must have got a big free agent this offseason to help boost them up. And it's the Chiefs at number 2, Colts at 7, Bills 3, Chargers 6, Texans 4th, Broncos 5th. All right, so pretty interesting. So let's see. So let's play our final game of the regular season, and let's see if we can get a win on the road in Los Angeles against the Rams. All right. I'm interested to play. I'm interested to play this game with Mayfield. Just see what his tendencies are, and see what it's like if the uniforms would load. All right, now they're finally loaded. Like I said in the last live stream, this game is a little bit bugged in certain ways, but I think it's just because it's old gen now. It's not new gen. All right, so the Rams are in the playoffs based on the playoff picture. So if we get an upset win, obviously that'll build confidence for us going into next season, number 1. And number 2, it could play spoiler. But everything's on the table today. This is our last game of the season. But I'm excited to play with this offense with Baker Mayfield, Justin Jefferson, and Marvin Harrison Jr. This should be exciting. I'm excited to play with these guys and see what we can do. All right. SoFi Stadium, Sean McVay's still there. This Rams team is probably still pretty much the same team from last year, so I'd imagine that. As far as their quarterback is concerned, I don't know if Matthew Stafford is playing still or not, but we have the ball first on offense. Baker Mayfield has had a pretty tough first season in Minnesota, but if we get a win today, that'll probably help him out. And unfortunately, we get a safety on the first play that I play. So that's not a good way to start this game at all. Fortunately, it looks like the Rams are struggling.
A big early test for the defense coming up. What can they dial up here to try and thwart this 3rd down situation? Dancing to his left.
Let's just run it with Mayfield and see if he can get that first. And he has scrambling ability, and we get the first with Mayfield, so not bad. All right, another first down.
Okay, time to hop back into this one. It's a red zone alert with a first and
10. Almost up.
Down at the
only down 2, and we almost throw a pick.
Nearly trouble, but it's incomplete. The rookie had
it's like Aaron Donald is still around. I saw him in the frame there.
Mayfield down.
Come on, Jefferson. And Jefferson breaks away. And he's down at the 1. Nice catch by Justin. Let's go to halfback
Jefferson has his first catch. He also has a first down.
Madison. Madison can't get into the end zone.
He is going to wind up losing.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
As that will take
scoreless
to the end of the first quarter of play. We are in for a good
one as
we're through 1 on EA Sports.
And Mayfield finds Justin Jefferson for the first touchdown of the game. Nice job.
Jefferson.
And we're in front of the Rams. Looks like we scored again. All right, probably on defense. Nope, still on offense.
Just about
1st and 10.
remaining here in the second
Opportunity
quarter.
to go down the field and do a 2-minute drill. We got 1 minute left in the first half.
But they're starting on their
Let's go
own
deep.
side of the field.
Come on, Justin.
Oh!
Almost had him.
And it's incomplete.
Thank
Took a
God,
shot,
just in time
couldn't
to knock that ball
connect.
away.
He was trying to find Justin Jefferson there. And that'll bring up second down. Now Mayfield.
Scramble up the middle just a little bit of Mayfield.
They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's
actually called a timeout. Call it timeout. I didn't realize we
down.
were 7 seconds.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
50 seconds. 3rd down and 7.
Here's 3rd and 7.
Come on, Baker.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield.
Come on, Jefferson. Makes the catch.
Here, but not before he does pick up.
All right, we only have 1 timeout. I don't want to burn it right now.
Moving quickly to the line. First down, Mayfield.
Jefferson can't hold on to that one.
Physical play.
We just get into field goal range. I'll take it. 4 verticals. We got to get down the field and get into range for Fairbairn.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Eluding the pressure right. Looking sideline.
Madison.
Incomplete.
Come on, man. Somebody's got to make a
He was
play.
just trying to find an open receiver and got forced out to his right. Had to come off of a guy downfield, trying to hit his back. Unable to connect.
Jefferson
Should have been an
getting held up a
easier
little
throw
bit. He's
moving
bumped.
to his right, though.
Yeah, much easier.
He makes the catch. There we go.
Quarterback, if he was going to his left, a little bit tougher.
Exactly.
You know what? Let's. Oh, we did spike it. Okay, so we got the spike
off.
off.
If they choose, they'll have a chance at maybe a long field goal try.
All right, so let's just kick a 55-yarder. Should have just burned the timeout there, but 55 yards by Fairbairn.
And his kick is
And he
good.
got it. So we got points to
every
end the
bit of
half.
that one.
Good job. That's what we were looking for. We were at least looking for some kind of points. Give us some more breathing. All right, so now I'm on defense controlling
So
for the first time. And there is Matthew Stafford. He is still playing for the Rams. But it's 3rd down and 4. We're up by 8. They've only scored 1 touchdown, but they won't score 1 touchdown. We gave them the points on a safety on our first drive, and we get the sack on Stafford on 3rd down. Let's go. Nice job by Phillips right there.
Give that sack to Harrison Phillips, the big man.
Force him to a field goal. Bend but didn't break, so that's good.
The kick by
So they tack on the field goal, and they're down by 5 points now. So they narrow the gap just a little bit, but we got the ball. We got to kind of start putting this game away now. 3rd quarter. All right, so 3rd down and 10. Rams are starting to mount another drive here, so if we can get off the field here on 3rd down, that'd be huge.
In the 3rd quarter. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford.
Around him. Oh man, he was wide open. Jeez.
And he'll be taken down, but he
I think it's Atwell. 1st and 10. Come over there.
From the red zone now, Stafford.
Oh,
Pass complete there to
man, he
Nakua.
fit that into a tight window and found Nakua.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
2nd and 4.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
I don't think they're going to get this off before the end of the quarter. Nope.
1 quarter remains here as the
All right,
regular
so
season
going into the
starts
4th
to
quarter,
wind down. We'll
final
return
quarter of
more
our
after
season.
this. You're watching the NFL on EA
Got
Sports.
to hold off for the win. We're up by 5. If they score here, hopefully we can mount a
Throwing
drive
again
and
is Stafford.
get the lead back. Get the pressure on Stafford, and he throws an incompletion, and it bounces off the goalpost. What a funny way to see that end, to see that play happen, you know? Pretty crazy.
This offense has converted 2
Well, our
third downs
defense
on
is
this
playing
drive already.
solid in
This
this
is 3rd
game.
and 4. Stafford now to throw.
Oh,
In
man.
the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Rams are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Stafford.
Oh man, Ivy, you should have stuck your hands up. You were in position.
To the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run.
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball.
Stafford just threw a willy-nilly, and Ivan Pace was right there.
Play action, maybe throwing it.
That was kind of the same deal again. Our guys just aren't getting over there to make the play.
Lead. Here's third and goal.
Stafford could have basically gifted us that. We're in position.
Here's Stafford. That's complete. Right
Oh, get Hibby down. Okay, good. The first guy missed the tackle. Then again, I missed the ballot because I missed time to hit. But still, okay, well, they're definitely going for this. It's fourth and goal, and they need a touchdown.
It
All right, defense, let's hold strong here. Let's get a goal line stand. And that's way off. That was a terrible throw by Stafford. It wasn't even close. And they turn it over on downs. All right, 4th and 16. We're going to line up for another 50-plus yard field goal with Fairbairn. Come on, man. I don't think that's going to get there.
And this is good.
Oh, it did. Wow, 57-yard field goal by Fairbairn. I think the first one he made was 55 yards, and that was 57. So 2 50-plus yard kicks by him. Way to wrap up his time in Minnesota.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
You know?
And remember, despite giving up the field goal, this is still a one-score game. They're in need of the touchdown and a 2-point on this drive likely doesn't do them much good.
Get him down.
And he's going to get this
2 hit sticks, but that couldn't bring down Higby. So they're technically, so they still have a chance.
12 yards.
If they score and get the 2-point conversion, that would tie it.
Now Stafford. Over the middle, that's hauled in by Cup.
Here's Cup.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
2-minute warning. We're up by 8.
Down to the final
Trying to finish this one off.
We've got a one-score game. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset.
2 points
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
Get him down. There we go. Nowhere to go, Nakua.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long.
Get through that line. Perfect. Okay, well. Oh, it was incomplete. All right, I thought he caught that ball.
Incomplete. So the ball
3rd and 13. They got 2 downs left.
Now it's Stafford.
Oh, pick! Let's go. Nice pick. Beautiful job by Bynum right there. Let's go. Put this one on ice. Let's run it with Madison and get out of here with the win.
Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped.
Overall, nothing really too super impressive about this win. I mean, we kind of just methodically took care of business in this one. Didn't really have an offensive explosion. The defense played pretty well. Just hoping this is going to lead to bigger and better things next season. But unfortunately, I'm not too optimistic because it looks like that despite all the money we invested in free agents this offseason, to finish with the same record we did last year with a new quarterback in Baker Mayfield, who we put stock in and invested money in and time in, I don't know, but, you know, rebuilds are rebuilds for a reason. So we'll see how we do. This offseason should be pretty interesting because last I checked, we don't have a whole lot of cap room to do anything. So we're going to have to, you know, we may have to ship off some guys and get some extra cap space. We'll see what we want to do. In the meantime, we'll let the guys enjoy this win to end the season. We're going to finish 7-10. Jefferson had a touchdown in the last game of the year. Mayfield played pretty decently. So, small steps, baby steps, optimistic. Hopefully this will give the Viking faithful some optimism going into next year, but we'll see. And we beat today we beat a good playoff team to end the season. You know, the Rams are going to the postseason more than likely. Although with us beating them, it may alter the playoff landscape a little bit, but we'll see.
40 seconds as they take the knee.
We're going to line up for the field goal, but I'm not going to kick it.
As this is a big spot right here. This to perhaps
the game clock and the play clock are both synced up, so I'll see what happens. Is it going to be a delayed game, or is it going to be I mean, I'll just take the delay of game even if the clock hits like 000, but we'll see what the game decides to do. Either way, we're going to walk out of here with the W against the playoff-bound Rams. So hopefully this will give us some confidence.
And,
unfortunately, they call us for a delay game, but it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, because of that, it's going to make us like kick the field goal.
They accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Because it's going to, yeah. So we're just going for it on fourth down, literally just to
They're going to go for it here on fourth down.
Just to run out the clock.
They're going for it. Here's Madison.
Whatever, just take him down. Game's over. I hate that, you can't just like take the knee and like let the whole clock run out. It just makes this game look so
the final
awkward,
seconds have ticked away.
But whatever,
it
is what it is.
And
but we get the win to wrap up the
turnover
season against the
battle
Rams. We
determining
beat them
who wins and who loses. This game,
20-12.
no exception. They didn't turn the ball over
Nothing
at all,
really
and they
too
go on to victory.
impressive about it. Mayfield didn't throw any interceptions, so that's pretty nice.
Every facet of the game,
so hopefully this will lead to bigger and better things. But you know, hey, first 2 years of the rebuild, both gone 7-10. We've gone into a new era this season with Mayfield as our quarterback, so hopefully we can this is something that we can build off of as a stepping stone. But we'll see.
Be careful not to give out too many kudos.
The biggest thing we accomplished this year is that we locked in Justin Jefferson for the future of this rebuild, the foreseeable future, I should say. You know, we gave him a big, hefty 5-year deal. I mean, he's a 99 overall club member. We got to keep him. There's no way we were going to let Justin Jefferson walk away. And unfortunately, that's just the way that it is. You know, we had to invest a whole lot of money into him to keep him around. And, you know, it just means we're going to have to let some guys that I'd like to keep to free agency. Going to have to let them go. But we'll see what happens. So let's take a look at the playoff bracket and let's see if our win against the Rams did anything. So it actually knocked them down to the 5th spot, so it did alter the playoff structure just a little bit. It moved the Cowboys up 1 spot, and the Giants are now in the 7th spot. So we've got, for Wild Card Weekend, Falcons against the Giants, Eagles against the Cowboys, Seahawks against the Rams. Detroit has the bye, Kansas City has the bye in the AFC, so that's a little bit different than the last time I looked. Bills, Texans, Steelers, and the Chargers, Colts, Broncos. All right, so year 2 of the playoffs. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and simulate to next week. I would sim to the Super Bowl, but I always want to see if we have any guys make the Pro Bowl and if we have anybody up for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Don't know if Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the running for that, but we'll see. All right, championship week. Let's see who's going to the Super Bowl. So it looks like it's going to be the Bills and the Falcons. Very interesting. I mean, we got an 88 overall offense. You know, I feel like that's just something that we could still build on. All right, Pro Bowl announcements. Let's see. Any Vikings? C.J. Ham made it. He's actually the starting fullback over Juszczyk, so that's surprising. Justin Jefferson made it once again. Hunter made it once again. Back-to-back Pro Bowls for him. Good for him. Bynum made it. Maybe we can give him a deal that isn't too expensive, but we'll see. And Medalist made it. So his first year filling in for Harrison Smith. Keep him around. Let him develop. Continue to let him develop. So we had strong safety, free safety. We had both of our safeties made it, along with Jefferson and Ham. So we had 4 Vikings make the Pro Bowl this year. That's better than last year. So, baby steps. All right, so let's go ahead and get through Pro Bowl week, and let's see who wins all the awards at the end of the season during Super Bowl week. See who walks away with the hardware. All right. So let's actually kind of look at the playoff bracket and see how everything happened. So the Falcons beat the Giants. The Cowboys went on the road and upset the Eagles. Let's go. And the Seahawks beat the Rams. So it was Falcons, Seahawks. It was Cowboys, Lions. So the Cowboys upset the Lions on the road in the divisional round, pretty big. And the Falcons beat the Seahawks. So it was the Falcons and the Cowboys, and the Falcons got the better of them. And they go to the Super Bowl for the third time in their history, I believe. Yeah, I think it is. And the Bills beat the Texans, Steelers beat the Chargers, and the Colts beat the Broncos. So the Bills took care of business against the Steelers. The Chiefs beat the Colts, and the Bills upset the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. So wow, this may be it for the Bills. This may be a year where they finally win their first Super Bowl, but we will see. Let's check out the yearly awards. Let's see if any of the Vikings were in the running for anything. MVP goes to Josh Allen. Coach of the Year, Todd Walters. So the Lions fired Dan Campbell after one season. Well, not after one season, but after the first year. So that was surprising. And you know, if we have another non-playoff season next year, maybe time to get a new coach, but we'll see. I think it's safe to say that going into next year, Kevin O'Connell is probably on the hot seat. But anyway, let's check out NFC. So Offensive Player of the Year went to Puka Nacua. Marvin Harrison Jr. finished 9th for Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC, and Jefferson finished 10th. So both of our receivers got some love. Defensive Player of the Year, Daniel Hunter actually finished 6th in the running for that for the NFC. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Marvin Harrison Jr., NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's go. Let's go. Beautiful. All right. Looks like that was a pretty good pick. And Raheem Sanders actually got some love. 7th for Rookie of the Year as well in the NFC, so good for him. He may be a running back we can build on. If we let Madison go, Sanders may be the guy, but we'll see. Defensive Rookie of the Year, no Vikings there, but we didn't really draft a defensive guy. Best QB, where did Mayfield finish? Not even in the top 10. Best running back, Madison didn't finish in the top 10 either. Best receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr. finished 4th. Jefferson finished 6th. All right. Best offensive lineman, no Vikings. Best defensive lineman, Christian Wilkins finished 10th. Best linebacker went to Daniel Hunter. Nice. And Josh Allen and Tranquil finished 9th and 10th for best NFC linebacker. So I think those investments are going to pay off. We just got to keep those guys around. And Mekhi Blackman finished 6th in the running for best DB in the NFC. So good for him. Best kicker, Fairbairn finished 10th. And that's it. So Mark Offensive Rookie of the Year. Good for him. Glad to see him walk away with some hardware. Up to an 83 overall now. So Harrison Jr. is definitely blossomed in his rookie season. Got a lot of touches, got a lot of reps. Definitely has supplanted Addison, who we actually may look to trade now due to the emergence of Harrison Jr. So we'll see. All right, so let's get through Super Bowl week and let's see who wins it all. Is it the Bills or the Falcons? And the Falcons have won their first ever Super Bowl. So congratulations to them. Once again, the Bills are left at the altar. No Super Bowls. MVP went to Desmond Ridder. And, yeah. And not only that, but Marvin Harrison Jr. won Offensive Rookie of the Year for the whole league. So it wasn't just the NFC. So good for him. Walking away with some hardware for our next top receiver. So him and Justin Jefferson, I'm just hoping that's going to turn into a great dynamic duo. That's all I can hope for. All right, so now we got to get down to some business. I'm not going to do any adjustments with the coaching staff, but you know what? Let's just actually, out of curiosity, before I think about that, let me see who got fired, who maybe I want to consider, who I might just want to slightly consider. Any of these guys stand out. So Ron Rivera got fired. Nobody else really got canned, so that I recognize. So, I think we'll just keep the staff the way it is. All right, so let's advance to next week. Now, before we hit free agency, I'm going to actually take a look at what we can maybe potentially do with Bynum, because he made the Pro Bowl. He's an 81 overall free safety. He's going to be tough to replace, and I don't want to risk losing him. We have $9.9 million in cap to do whatever we can, and not interested in signing. So you know what? Can we give him the franchise tag? All right. Well, we franchise tag him, but now we are in the negative in cap room. Not good. Not good at all. Wow. I don't know how we're going to make room. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's actually check out the retirements and see if anybody from the Vikings retired. I don't know if we had anybody, but we'll see. Let's check out some other guys. Jimmy Ward retired. Hayward retired. Taysom Hill. Zeter. Autry. Aaron Rodgers retired. Lane Johnson. Travis Kelce retired after 12 seasons. Wow. Let's see. Let's see about... let's go to the Vikings. Nobody retired. Okay, so we had no retirements. Unlike last year, where we lost, one of the best safeties in franchise history. I was really hoping Harrison Smith Jr. would come back. All right, so let's go ahead and get to free agency. And I hate the fact that for the first time in a rebuild, we're starting off in the negative for an offseason. Unless us letting all those guys walk is going to clear some cap. Let's see what our cap situation looks like as we go into free agency. We're in the negative. We have no money to spend. We can't do anything. Okay, so because of that, let's look and see where we are at right now. As far as our roster, do we even have a roster that is filled with anything? So we may have to just cut a bunch of guys to make some room. So, Mullins is gone, but we weren't going to bring him back anyway. Man, Sanders. We have 3 running backs, so I don't want to make moves there. We don't have a fullback. I think we're just going to have to draft one. We're going to have to draft all the positions that we don't have filled up right now, basically. I think that's what we're just going to have to do. Can we cut Nakua and just free up some kind of room? All right, he'll free up some cap space, but not much. I wonder if he's related to Puka, but I don't know. William Shepard. Let's cut him. So we got to make some room now. These moves are not going to free up a whole lot of cap space, but, at this point we got to do cap casualties. And we can't get rid of Dez Fitzpatrick because he's still on IR. He's still hurt. He's done for probably his career. Antoine Green. Yeah, let's release him. Crazy. But I want to keep a decent amount of receivers still. Okay, but you know what? Let's take a look at something else here. With the emergence of Harrison Jr., I want to see if we can potentially trade away Addison. Hopefully maybe that'll free up some space, and, maybe that'll help us out a little bit. And I don't really think I want... Yeah, our needs are really all over the board, so... I don't really think we need a new left end, per se. So, you know what? Okay, before we actually trade Addison, let's see what positions we need to replace. Obviously, fullback is one of them, but I don't want to trade for a fullback. I think I'm just more content with drafting one. Fortunately, our offensive line can pretty much still remain intact with the players that we have. So we're just going to have to rock out with that. We need a new left end because apparently Wormley was going to be a free agent and he walked. Wilkins, of course, is still here, but we need a new defensive end. And we could use another defensive tackle for help, but we drafted Jenkins for a reason. So, yeah. And with the emergence, maybe we can try to trade Ivan Pace as well. And maybe Davenport. And Blackman is quickly shot up to our best corner now. Nelson actually dropped and we signed him back. Okay, that's a little bit discouraging that we signed him back and he dropped. And in the meantime, let's actually go ahead and cut some of these DBs, at least one or two of them. Free up some kind of cap space. Because these are all really like bottom end of the roster guys anyway. Yeah, let's get rid of this guy too. Stephen Jones. Not Jerry's son. Alright. Yeah, I'm glad we got Bynum back because we don't have luxury of that. Let's go ahead and cut Jones. Alex Cook, let's cut you as well. This really isn't freeing it up too much cap space, obviously, but yeah. We need a new kicker and punter, so we need entirely new special teams. Okay, so free safety and strong safety we don't need upgrades on. We could use, maybe help at corner. All right, so we're doing some dealing. We're doing some dealing, and we're really doing some dealing just so we can make some kind of cap space. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the trade center and let's get to work because we got work to do. Obviously, we're in the full off season, so we can go ahead and do trades. Those moves only got us to the negative in minus, 4.88 in cap space. So let's manual trade. Okay, so let's go ahead and put Addison on the block. Let's put him on the block, and let's see what we can do. All right, so let's go ahead and just kind of take a look at, what we need. Okay, so we do need a defensive end, a left end, a new one. We need another new one. But, Addison at 87 overall, I don't want to, diminish the value. So, you know what? Should I just take a look at quarterbacks? See if maybe there's somebody else that I could just maybe trade for to put pressure on Mayfield. Hey, if you mess up, you're done. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't really know. A lot of these teams are in the negative in terms of cap room, so that's no. Let's not do quarterback needs. Let's see maybe about defensive tackles for trading away Addison. We can get a player that we need, to help. What teams maybe really need a wide receiver? All right, the Chiefs do. So Derek Noddy. But you know what? Let's swing for the fences. Trey will put your team over the cap if accepted. Try making a different offer. Okay, so here's what we're just going to have to do. We're just going to have to trade Addison straight up for draft picks. So let me actually see where we are picking in this year's draft and see let me go to combine results and see if I can see the mock drafts from here because I just want to know where we're picking. Okay, so it won't let me show. It won't show me that. Oh, mock drafts. Here we go. Okay, we're basically in Draft Central now. Okay, so we have the 7th overall pick, and we're projected to take Will Campbell out of LSU. We do need a new. We could use another left tackle. We could probably move him to the right side instead because we have a 92 overall guy there. Man, Cowboys have the 4th pick. Jeez, they must have traded up. Must have traded up for sure. Okay, so maybe we could try to trade up to get the 4th pick. And maybe snag Marvin Jones Jr. because he actually fits our scheme. All right, so you know what? Let's trade with the Cowboys and try to get up to the 4th pick. Now, I don't really know what kind of receiver situation they're in right now, but something tells me that they could use another receiver because I don't know if Brandon Cooks is still there. I'm pretty sure that CeeDee Lamb is still there, but at the same time, they are probably looking for somebody else to help out with their receiving core. So let's see if we can do this. Just out of curiosity, let me see what their receiving room is looking like. So they still have Gallup, but Gallup is nah. So let's see if they will give us the 4th pick. How do they have the... Well, I guess we can't trade. Well, yeah, we can. I guess those picks aren't able to be traded. So let's just see, if we can get to somebody who has like... So the Bengals actually have the 6th pick. Let's see if that'll help. Over the salary cap if accepted. Try making a different offer. Jeez. How does it put us over? Just trying to get some, space here. This isn't easy. Maybe we could just get another 1st round pick, 14th pick. So I guess we just can't do anything. Can we really just not even trade away Addison? Man, okay. I mean, we need to get jeez. It's tougher than I expected. It's getting pretty late. Now let's just see who's on the block. Nobody decent, of course, but Josh Patchell. Over the cap if accepted. Okay. All right. Well, let's come back to Addison later, and let's try to trade somebody else. See if we'll have better luck with them. Because it'd be hard to imagine me just releasing these guys, All right, let's see. Let's go to I think middle linebacker. Yeah, we have Ivan Pace, who does fit our scheme, but I mean we're kind of just looking to move on from him. Let's see about maybe a pick, 7th overall pick. Maybe we can add another player. Maybe we can add Davenport as well. I don't know if this is going to help. Okay, kind of will. maybe we just need to get one more player. Maybe Roy. It would still put us over the cap. Okay. All right. All right. I think let's put Roy back on there. If we put Addison also on there, what does that do? We would still be in the negative. Dang. So I think we can basically get a very top pick by doing this. Maybe Nelson. Okay, so instead of that, okay, so we can trade all of these guys that we've deemed basically expendable if so let's see about which team. So the Bears have the 7th overall pick in the 2025 draft, but let's see who maybe has the top, who has a pick higher than them. The Bengals do. But let's keep going. Let's see if anybody has. Okay, the Browns have the 3rd. Ooh, Commanders have the number 1 overall pick. I don't know if they would take this. Trade declined. Going to need significantly more compensation. Okay, so they're not going to give up the number 1 overall pick. Okay, so because of that, we can't finesse the Commanders, I should say. So I think we should just go for getting maybe a mid-round pick or something. Let's see about the Dolphins pick at number 12, just to get another first-round pick in there. Wait, what happened? It would put us. Oh, it would put the other team over the cap. Okay, well, they're over the cap too, so. Not the Falcons. They just got done with the Super Bowl, so. Well, they have the 32nd pick, of course, so. The 49ers are in the negative, so no. Thing is, we're also going to have to trade with a team that. Okay, let's go back to the Bears. I know this is probably not the best thing because it means we're trading in our division, but they have a lot of cap room, and it's the 7th overall pick. Let's see if they take this. Trade decline. It's not going to cut it. Okay. All right, so we're going to have to go a little lower. The Bengals, maybe. Let's see. Okay, so the Bengals have the 6th pick. Who has the 8th pick? And are they a team that is, not in cap hell? It'd still be nice to get a top 10 pick for all these guys. We can't do the Saints. They're in the negative. Same with the Ravens. Raiders. Well, top 15. That would be 15. Ooh, the Patriots. 9th overall pick. Still declined. And okay, so we're going to have to go a little bit. So instead of maybe. So let's see who actually has exactly the 10th overall pick. Who has that one? I'm not going to try that with the Jets because that's not going to cut it. It probably wouldn't, 49ers are over the cap. So who has the 10th pick? And are they over the cap or under the cap? Pick 30th. Well, it's probably us. Actually, that's the thing. Okay, so let's go like a little higher than that. Let's go like around like 11 or something. All right. Let's see about the Cardinals. 13th overall pick. Are they over the cap? No, they're not. Still declined. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to go either top 15, either 15 exactly or inside the top 15, but we'll see. We're at 15 to 20 range. No, let's not go Dolphins. They're over the cap. They won't trade with us. They can't do that. And the thing is, you know, are they, you know, under or over the cap? Lions are over. Let's try Carolina. 17th overall pick. Still declined. All right. Well, let's see who has Mr. 18th. You know what? Let's try the Raiders, even though that's 15. 16 million. Still declined. Wow, okay, all right. Well, let's keep trying. Let's try the Texans at 19th. I guess we're just going to have to settle for inside the top 20. Trade accepted. All right, well, we're still minus 7.48 in cap space, so that I guess that trade actually didn't help. But, you know, let's just check out the free agent list. It maybe hasn't updated. Let's see. Man, we're still in hell. We're still in hell. Wow. All right, guys. Well, you know, I tried to, you know, I mean, at least I got us a pick that's high, so we'll see what we do. But unfortunately, because of that, we're going to have to bypass free agency completely, and we're just going to have to simulate to the draft. We can't do anything in free agency at all. So, in this draft, we are going to have to draft specifically for positions that we need that we absolutely do not have. So we may have to pass up on drafting best position available for position that we just flat out need. We're drafting... Oops. Dropped my controller. Crazy. Okay. I was replaying the audio to see how bad that sounded, but it wasn't that bad. Wow. Well, it feels really unfortunate that I put the Vikings in a hole in the second off season as far as like salary cap hell. But maybe we'll get out of hell after this off season and things will be better, but we'll see. All right, so first things first, let me take a look and see what positions that we just absolutely need to draft that we don't have. Okay, we don't have a fullback, we don't have a kicker or a punter. So we're going to have to draft those in the later rounds. We're just going to have to do it. I mean, we could use an upgrade at really every position except for receiver and, you know, a few other ones. You know, tight end for sure, left tackle, we're fine. Everything's really on the table. We just need to get as many players as we can and upgrade through the draft. We could really use an upgrade at defensive tackle. What about left end? Yeah, we need upgrades at left end and defensive tackle for sure in the draft. Linebackers were good. Corners, we could use help. Free safety and strong safety were good. Kicker and punter, we need a new one of those. Okay, so I think as far as offensive line, we're just going to let that go again. If there's somebody really good there, we'll see. But let's check out the final mock draft first, and let's see what they have us projected to do. So let's see how things have changed based on what other teams have done in free agency, because I don't really know what other teams have done. So we have the 7th pick like we did before. And And unfortunately with that trade, it actually didn't get us another first-round pick. So I'm a little bit disappointed that that's what happened. So we're still projected to take Will Campbell. I'm honestly thinking that may be the way to go. But if Marvin Jones Jr. slips, we're going to take him. Or if Jeremiah Alexander somehow slips, we're going to take him. But if not, we're going to get Will Campbell. We do have a good left tackle, but we can easily move Campbell to the right side and do that. We just got to upgrade through the draft this year. It's the best that we can do. Start drafting. Let's go.
The Washington Commanders are now on the clock.
All right. Pick number 11. So it looks like Will Campbell actually isn't available. All right. Left end. Oh, he's there. Marvin Jones Jr. Get your butt to Minnesota now.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Nice.
Now on the clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our new starting left end. We still have Grayson Murphy, but we've just got instantly younger there. All right, well, that was a good pick. And we have another first-round pick. Pick 20 in the draft. So with that, we're going to get on the offensive line, and we're going to select Tish Bala out of Ohio State. We already have a good left tackle, but we can easily move him to the right side.
And now on the clock, the Minnesota Vikings.
We need to upgrade the offensive line. I mean, we need to really upgrade every position to get specific, but that's what we got to do. Okay. Second round pick, 10th overall. We could get another left end. Justice Finkley is available. But, you know, Gavin, running back out of Oklahoma, is pretty tempting. We don't have Madison anymore, so we could use help at running back. Let's go ahead and take him. It's our scheme too, so.
The Minnesota Vikings are now on the clock.
Getting younger at running back. We got 2 one-year and rookie running backs now in the backfield. Third round pick. Defensive tackle, Dan Dennis Sutton out of Penn State. We need help at defensive tackle. Let's get him. We're one of the top fits for him, so that's good.
Now the Vikings' turn on the clock.
Okay, so I like the draft so far. I'm making selections based on what we need. And, you know, some of these players are becoming available to us in later rounds. Some of them are slipping a little bit. God, we really don't need a corner. Let's take a right tackle, Monty Brooks out of Central Michigan, just for depth reasons. Might have reached for that one, but
the Minnesota Vikings
need help there.
Now on the clock.
4th round pick. Don't have a whole lot of picks left, so now we might have to start drafting kickers, punters, and fullbacks. All right. I remember Earl Landry from other rebuilds. We don't really need another linebacker. You know what? Let's go ahead and get. This guy isn't real, but let's draft. You know, Frank Stanford from Texas Tech. He's definitely not real, but we're gonna go ahead and draft him. We're actually one of his best fits, so we're gonna get him. Another defensive tackle, just because we need to upgrade, you know, that position big time throughout the draft in a lot of ways. So that's what we're going to have to do. Okay, so now I think we're still in the 5th round, are we? Yeah, we are. Okay, so we have another pick in the 5th round. We have a bunch of more picks in this year's draft, so that's pretty encouraging. So we're actually going to go ahead and get a corner. We're going to take Zverev Thomas out of Florida State. He doesn't really fit our scheme, but we're really getting guys for depth on the roster at this point. So we're going to go ahead and grab him. We also had to cut a lot of guys just to make cap space. Okay, so now we're in the 6th round. This is where we're going to have to pick literally guys that we just, positions that we just freaking need. Fullback. So Will Hillman out of Utah, projected to go undrafted, but we're drafting him in the 6th round. We are definitely reaching, but it's simply because we do not have a fullback and we need a fullback. All right. Now we're getting in the 7th round.
The Vikings' turn on the clock.
All right. This is where we get a kicker. We're in the 7th round. We're going to have to get a kicker. I don't even think we can draft one, can we? Well, there's not a lot available, but Ben Sherman out of USF, University of South Florida. We don't draft kickers, but we got to draft them this year. I've never drafted a kicker in any of my rebuilds, so this is definitely a first. But we don't have any. So this is our last pick of the draft, and we got to go with a punter because we don't have one. These guys are probably going to be 50 overalls, but we got to take them. We got to take them just to get positions filled. Reed Foster, Florida State. Come on to Minnesota and fill our roster. And that's it. So I actually like a few picks we were able to get in the draft. Mostly I like the fact that we were able to get Marvin Jones Jr. We got 2 Marvins, that we drafted in the 1st round in back-to-back years. So, that's going to be pretty interesting. So, draft recap, let's take a look. We had more picks in this year's draft than last year. So, we were at least able to, draft guys to, fill positions and get some depth. So, 1st round, we had 2 1st-round picks. 10th overall, we had Marvin Jones Jr., left end out of Georgia. Now, he is a real player. And we also drafted Tegra Tishbala, left tackle from Ohio State. I believe he's also a real player, but I'll look it up. We're probably going to move him to the right side because we have a good 92 overall left tackle in Darashaw, so we're going to move him over there. We did draft a running back. I saw Sawchuk up there. I'm familiar with him at Oklahoma. Elusive back. He fits our scheme. He was our 2nd round pick, 10th in the 2nd round. We don't have Madison anymore. We still have Sanders. But drafting Sawchuk, I think, will give us a little bit of a better dynamic duo than maybe we even had last year. But I don't know. We'll see. And Danny Dennis Sutton. We drafted him, defensive tackle out of Penn State. We need a new defensive tackle. I don't know if his overall is going to be very good, but hopefully he can develop. Monty Brooks, right tackle, just for depth, offensive line depth. We need help. Frank Stanford, defensive tackle, depth. Thomas, corner, we just need depth there. Will Hillman, we need a fullback. Sherman, we need a kicker. And Foster, we needed a punter. The last 3 guys we literally drafted just to fill positions on the roster that we can't fill because we're in the negative. We have no money to spend. So let's go ahead and adjust the roster. We're going to have to change at least one position of that new left tackle that we drafted. So we're going to change him to the right side. So Sanders is actually still our top running back, 79 overall. He's basically the same overall as Madison. So, that will be that'll be interesting. But you know what? I'm kind of excited to rock with him as our starting running back this year. We still have Chandler and Sawchuk. Who knows? Maybe he can develop a little bit. But we got 274 guys, and of course we got Ray Davis. Fullback Will Hillman. He is not wearing number 1. This guy is a completely made-up player. And we are going to change his number to probably something in the 40s or the 30s. I'll see what I want to do. All right, let's change his number to 40-something. We'll give him 40 exactly. Now he looks like a fullback. 71 overall for a fullback to start out of fits our scheme is not that bad when I really look at it. Who knows? Maybe he could be a secret weapon for the running game. Yeah, we didn't draft any receivers. Des Fitzpatrick, he's off injury now, so can we actually get rid of him? Yeah, we can, but you know what? We need some depth at, some of these positions. So let's just keep him. Why not? All right. So Tegra to Shabala. But we also do need depth behind left tackle as well. $74, $78. I guess I was wrong. I was thinking about left end. I was thinking about defensive end instead. Okay. Well, you know what? Tishbala, that's fine. You could use a backup because I don't know how long. Tegra Tishabala. Well, he's a real player. I had to look it up. 77. All right. Let's see if anybody else is wearing 77. Let's see if we can give him his college number. Deontay Brown. I don't really know much about you, so we're going to change your number to something random. Change it to 74. And we'll give Tishabala. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Yeah, we'll give him his 77. Big guy. Save. Changes? Yep. He's a big guy. I mean, 6'6". That's big for a left tackle. Kind of excited about him joining the ball club. All right, Marvin Jones Jr. This is the big head honcho. Jones Jr., Georgia. I have to look it up because there, of course, there was, Marvin Jones, the receiver, who played for a while. Okay, so he wears number 7. Okay, I think we can give him number 7 because we don't have Byron Murphy anymore. Even though I wanted to keep him, but cap. All right. Marvin Jones Jr. looking pretty good, sir. 78 overall to start out with as a left end. That's pretty good to start out with. That's pretty much what Harrison was. So if he gets playing time, hopefully that'll help. Grayson Murphy is a good young guy, I think, to back him up as well. Both these guys fit our scheme, so that may help in the end. And, of course, we still have old, reliable Christian Wilkins, who we spent money on in free agency. So Danny Dennis Sutton has shot up to our starting defensive tackle right now. Now, Chris Jenkins is going to get some more playing time out of Michigan. I was excited with what he did. I'm excited for the future with him, but we will see. Now, I don't really know if this Danny guy is really real. Oh, looks like he is. He is a real player. Out of Penn State. Okay, 33. Let's see if we can give him his number. We might be able to, but let's see. It doesn't really look like him, though, his player model. But then again, these are, created draft roster, so beggars can't be choosers. All right. Well, let's just change him to 31 for right now. Let's see who's wearing 33, and we'll change it up. Change it up. It's probably a linebacker. Brian Asamoah II. Ooh. Let's just have Sutton rock 31. Now Chris Jenkins, I think, is a real player. He's from Michigan. Maybe we can give him his real number now. Chris Jenkins, Michigan. Okay, so he wore number 94, which was actually worn by Sutton, so we can give him 94 now. I don't know who wore 94 last year. It was probably one of our defensive ends who is, gone. We're going to change up some of these numbers, give some of these young guys their real numbers, because now we're starting to lose some of those veterans. And, yeah. Now, Frank Stanford, I know very well, is not a real player that played at Texas Tech, because I know that roster like the back of my hand. So he's not a real player, but we'll keep him wearing number 97. And because of that, can we get rid of Gottel? I'll free up some cap room. We're just kind of getting rid of. We're not putting off the inevitable anymore. Curtis Brooks, can we actually get rid of him too while we're at it? Just free up some cap space. Because we're in the negatives. We got to do something to give us some room. All right. Let me see if I can change Asamoah maybe to left outside linebacker to give some depth on that side of the ball behind Hunter. I don't know what this will change his overall to. Hopefully it doesn't dip severely, but... Alright, well it dipped... Actually it didn't. It's still at 71, so that's not bad. Vigil's going to back up Drew Hill and Davenport. Well, if we get rid of him, it'll free up a bunch of cap space. Okay, we'll just leave that kind of the way it is. I mean, our corner situation is pretty bleak. We just don't have, you know, decent guys back there covering. I like our safeties, though. You know, Ben Sherman is our new kicker. Reed Foster is our new punter. So, a very interesting roster. But I was able to kind of give some of the you know, new rookies their numbers. Oh, actually, wait. I didn't look at Sawchuk. I forgot about him. And also, I can probably change up the number for Sanders. Raheem Sanders. He wears number 5. That's worn by our top corner, Blackman. Let's keep him rocking 22. But Gavin Sawchuk. He wears 27. Okay, I think that might be worn by somebody. Maybe a safety or corner. Andrew Booth Jr., okay. All right, well, let's have Sawchuk rock 26 then. He looks okay, we're rocking 26. We'll go with that. All right. Well, this roster going into next season, needless to say, is going to be pretty interesting. I mean, overall-wise, we're still looking pretty solid, but we're doing this with a lot of young rookies playing for the first time, and, you know, a lot of young players that we drafted last year are basically going to have to take over. So I'm kind of nervous about that, but I'm also a little bit excited because it just means we're going to continue to get younger, which means that hopefully these players can develop, and maybe they can be a big reason that we actually fight our way back into the playoffs. Back-to-back years of no playoffs, you know, we still have Baker as our quarterback. I still want to rock with him. I don't want to give up on him just yet. It looks like his overall didn't really go up at all this past season, but you know what? If we don't have another good year this next year, I'll give Baker one more year, but if we don't make the playoffs this year, I think coaching changes are going to have to be made, and I mean the whole staff potentially. But we'll see who gets fired, and maybe see if I want to replace them with a better named head coach. But we'll wait to find that out, and y'all can see that in the next episode. So first 2 years of the Vikings rebuild have not gone extremely well. We finished 7-10, even with a revamped roster, with all the money that we spent in free agency to upgrade positions. We started off the year 1-6, and we barely got up to the same record we did last year. So that didn't really encourage me very much. I mean, over the back half of the season, we played better, but Baker Mayfield still has a lot of questions to answer. I mean, we give you a 9 overall Justin Jefferson. Marvin Harrison Jr. won Rookie of the Year, and you can only get 7 wins, the same amount that Joshua Dobbs got. So if it's coaching, we'll find it out this season, but we will see. Hopefully we get back to the playoffs this year, but you'll have to find that next episode. And I actually may go ahead and stream tomorrow as well because it's the start of my weekend. I just wanted to do streaming tonight because I figured, you know what, why not? Football's kind of on my mind, like I mentioned, because of all the championship stuff. So I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good Sunday night.